Now let's talk a little bit about practice types now, and random practice specifically. Now random practice is where we are varying the practice up a little bit. It's pretty obvious, it's in the name. And when you look at the research, it does seem to have better skill retention than block practice, where we're doing the same thing over and over. So some obvious ideas for random practice is you're on the range, you maybe pick different targets. 1 minute you hit your 60, the next minute you hit your 7-iron, your driver, you might play golf holes on the range, those sorts of things. That is very much a random practice strategy, but there can be some structure within it. Another thing that I don't think people do with random practice is this really kind of refinement, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean now. So if we're working on wedge game, an idea with random would be hit, say 60 yards, then hit another club, another target, great. But this is a great way of kind of combining a little bit of random and a little bit of block. So I'm going to go for 60 yards. It's a distance I'm struggling with at the minute. And this is how we can incorporate random practice in. Now for my skill level, I'm a pro, I should be pretty good at this. So the first target I'm going to set is 60 yards, like I said. I should be pretty good at this, but obviously I'm not going to be because I've been working on it. So 60 yards, that was my goal. Okay, you can see there, I'm very short. I've told you I'm struggling with this yardage. Now, most people in this instance would just continue hitting 60 yards. What we can do now is, okay, my intent there was to hit 60. Now my intent is going to be to hit 65. So, okay, 65. Okay, and I'm looking at my feedback here to see, okay, did I hit 65? No, that was more bang on 60 in that instance. So I'm learning, okay, well, actually, what I think is 65 is more like 60 perhaps. Okay, so now I'm going to go, okay, 55. Okay, so I'm going 5 yards less. And one thing you can do is you get better at this, you can really narrow those ranges. So okay, so 55 I'm going to try and hit. Okay. And you're going to see here that there's a consistency that I'm consistently short with my numbers. So I'm not kind of in my brain figuring out, okay, what are my actual numbers here. But I'm figuring out, okay, if I'm feeling like I'm longer, it's actually shorter. So okay, so we'll go back to that initial thing of, okay, now let me go back to 60. So I've been short, so I need to feel a little bit like I'm hitting longer. Hope this makes sense. So let's hit 60. Okay. A little bit short again. Okay. Now I'm going to go 65. And what you're going to notice is, in this session, you're probably going to be poorer than if you just hit 60, 60, 60. But what you'll find over time is you'll actually improve your skill level. The research generally seems to show this. Okay, so let's go 65 now. Okay, that felt a little bit more like a 65-yard swing. Okay, so basically for me, 65 is 60. Interesting. Okay, so now let's try and finish it on 55. Come on. It's going to be a little bit short. And you can see how challenging this can be. Yeah. And like kind of give yourself feedback. I feel like that might be quite close to 55. No. Again, sometimes you gotta kind of give yourself that feedback. But you'll notice that I've had a lot of random kind of yardages there that I'm throwing myself out. I've only hit a few shots. I'd do this more if I was doing a proper session, maybe 50 shots. But okay, knowing what I've seen there with that feedback, I know that what I think is about 65 is probably around 60. So now I can go back to, okay, I'm going to try and hit that 60 yard. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Okay, a little bit left. But, no, that went in the water. But look at the carry. It was 60 yards, so that was closer. I'm going to give myself one more. Okay, so that was better. A 60. So you can see there, go on, get close. Yeah, miles better. So what I've done is I've varied it and then gone back to my initial target, and you can see how I've hit it over time. That's going to improve you generally a lot quicker than block practice, specifically when you're working on those wedge numbers.